quite agree, Madame Maxim, said Kakarov, bowing to her. I shall be lodging complaints with the Ministry of Magic and the International Confederation of Wizards. If anyone got reason to complain, it's Potter, growled Moody, but funny thing, I don't hear him saying a word. Why should he complain? Burst our fleur de coeur, stamping her foot. He has the chance to complete, hasn't he? We have all been hoping to be chosen for weeks and weeks. The honor of our schools, a thousand gallons in prize money, this is a chance many would die for. Maybe someone's hoping Potter is going to die for it, said Moody, with the merest trace of growl. An extremely tense silence followed these words. Ludo Bagman, who was looking very anxious indeed, bounced nervously up and down on his feet and said, Moody, old man, what a thing to say! We all know Professor Moody considers the morning wasted if he hasn't discovered 6 plots to murder him before lunchtime, said Kakarov loudly. Apparently, he is now teaching his students to fear assassination too, and ought equality in a defense against the dark arts teacher, Dumbledore. But no doubt you had your reasons. Imagining things, am I? Growled Moody. Seeing things, It was a skilled witch or wizard who put the boy's name in the goblet. Ah, what evidence in there of that, said Madame Maxim, throwing her huge hands, because they hoodwinked very powerful magical objects, said Moody. It would have needed an exceptional strong confidence charm to bamboozle that goblet into forgetting that only 3 schools complete in the tournament. I'm guessing they submitted Potter's name under a 4th school to make sure he was the only one in his category. You seem to have given this a great deal of thought, Moody, said Kakarov coldly, and a very ingenious theory it is true, of course. I heard you recently got it into your head that one of your birthday presents contained a canine disguised basilic egg, and smashed it into pieces before realizing it was a carriage clock. So you'll understand if we don't take you entirely seriously. There are those who will turn innocent occasions to their advantage, Moody retorted into a menacing voice. It's my job to think the way dark wizards do, Karkaroff, as you ought to remember. Alistair, said Dumbledore warningly. Harry wondered for a moment whom he was speaking to, but then realized Mad Eye could hardly be Moody's real first name. Moody fell silent through still surviving Karkaroff with satisfaction. Karkaroff's face was burning. How the situation arose, we don't know, said Dumbledore, speaking to everyone gathered in the room. It seems to me, however, that we have no choice but to accept it. Both Cedric and Harry have been chosen to complete in the tournament. This, therefore, they will do. Ah, but Dumbledore, my dear Madame Maxim, if you have an alternative, I would be delighted to hear it. Dumbledore waited, but Madame Maxim did not speak. She merely glared. She wasn't the only one either. Snape looked furious, Karkaroff livid. Bagman, however, looked rather excited. "Well, shall we crack on then?" he said, rubbing his hands together and smiling around the room. "Got to give our champion their instructions, haven't we? Barty, want to do the honors?" McGrouch seemed to come out of a deep reverie. "Yes," he said, "instructions. Yes, the first task." He moved forwards into the firelight close to Harry, through he looked ill. There were dark shadows beneath his eyes, and a papery look about his wrinkled skin that had not been there at the Quidditch World Cup. "The first task is designed to test your darling, to be told Harry, Cedric, Fleur, and Crumb, so we are not going to be telling you what is it. Courage in the face of the unknown is an important quality in Withered, very important. The first task will take place on November the 24th in front of the other students and the panel of judges. The champions are not permitted to ask for or accept help of any kind from their teachers to complete the task in the tournament. The champions will face the first challenge armed only with their wands. They will receive information about the second task when the first is over. Owing to the demanding and time-consuming nature of the tournament, the champions are exempted from end-of-the-year test." McGrouch turned to look at Dumbledore. "I think that's all, is it, Albus?"